talking about channels. So where in the world does federal, state, and local startup requirements have to do with this? Except it does. They're almost a channel unto themselves. There's so much bureaucracy that a small business has to go through. You have to pay attention to it. If it don't, then you're going to sit down, you'll be all stuck in the process thinking, I'm waiting for a permit for my sign. I've been waiting 6 weeks for my permit. Well, we're changing it away and we're not allowing signs on the freeway anymore. And also the lighting is too bright. We've adopted the Palomar lighting protocol, which means you're, oh my gosh. Those things happen, and that's a real dialogue of things that happen. Some of the things that you have to do, okay, first of all, file with your Secretary of State about your business model. Pay attention to actually what you're going to have. Do you have a sole proprietorship? Do you have a partnership? Do you have a corporation? And what kind of corporation? Is it a C Corp? Probably not if you're brand new. Is it an LLC? Is it a subchapter S? Those are big things. So when it comes to filing for your LLC, okay, or an LLP, or your subchapter S, you have to file with your Secretary of State. It's easy enough to find Secretary of State, ca.gov. You also will have to sit down and get your federal employee identification number or your fine. Sometimes it's called just the EIN. So you have to have that to get started. You may also want to go through and have a fictitious business name with your county clerk's office. If you're going to be a sole proprietorship, that's a big thing in the process. You just file. It's basically by the time you're done with all the different things, you have to advertise twice in a newspaper, and then 30 days later, you'll be eligible to get your fictitious business name. So in other words, in my case, I have a fictitious business name for this over here that's part of my corporation. So I can just file for different names called a DBA, doing business as, okay, with different names from my company as you go through the process over here. You also want to have a local tax registration certificate. Okay, that is going to be your business license you have with your city. You're also going to have a state seller's permit in the process to make certain you can collect sales tax and pay the sales tax as you go through. And it depends on your license. If you're selling tires, there's a tire license you have to get for disposing of tires. If you sell this, there's different aspects that each industry will have, especially in a highly regulated California. You need to pay attention to this because this is a channel. It is a channel for you to get along with government in the process. So a fine is the beginning point for almost all your business. You have to have an employer identification number, or FINE. The F stands for Federal Employer Identification Number. It's used in almost everything. It's easy enough to get. The IRS, you have to download a form and mail it to them. So you can download the form online and then go from there. And then you also have the fictitious business name as you're going in the process. And you need that to open a bank accounts underneath the business name. If you're filing as a sole proprietorship, partnership, or whatever, the bank is going to want to make certain that they have a clear pathway as to who owns the organization. If you want to also deal with the county government in the process for that, there is an ocgov.com business. You can get that, and it's renewable every 5 years, and you have first right of renewal. Your city business license, the link here is for the OC.gov, the Orange County government, and you'll see all the different sites for the Orange County different cities to get your business license in the process. And if you want to sit down and get your sales tax license, here's the link to sit down and go through and look at who sells items, and you have to collect the sales tax and also pay as you go through. You'll also have a whole series of other different kind of permits. Restaurants have to have a food licensing permit with an regular inspection. There's different things that you'll have to do. So when it comes down the federal, state, and local startup, pay attention, make certain you know what the rules are, because if you don't, somebody may come knocking on your door someday and say, by the way, you owe us 5 years worth of taxes on the following 3 areas. And all of a sudden, so make certain you know that what the channels are when it comes to licensing and fees that you own. This is probably a good start, but in your specific area, you may have to pay attention to what you're doing and handling. Take care.